Have you ever played Narset Parter of Veils followed by Echo of Aeons? Mind twist the opponent, get rid of their hand. That's what we're doing today with this Temur Legacy Storm deck. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This deck is a thing of beauty, and I am so excited to play it today. So as I mentioned in the intro, we're looking to combine Narset Parter of Veils alongside Echo of Aeons. So you'll draw 7, your opponent will draw 1, assuming that it was the first card that they drew that turn. If you play multiple copies of Echo of Aeons, their hand is completely gone. So we're a deck with 4 copies of Echo. What I love about this deck, and I think it's a really awesome synergy, is we're winning with Brain Freeze. So we want to get to around Storm 14 to 17, somewhere in that range, and then deck the opponent. But you can also target yourself to hit Echo of Aeons. So that way you can use it as a Storm enabler. And I think that that's just a really awesome thing about this deck. Just the Brain Freeze synergy is so beautiful. The downside, if your opponent's playing Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, you can't deck them. But what you can do is just basically discard their hand, play a Song of Creation, and then play 1 or 2 Urza Sagas as your land for the turn, and then beat them down during the rest of the game. So that's another beautiful backup. Urza Saga, in addition to that, searches out Lion's Eye Diamond for you to use with Echo of Aeons. Pretty cool. Veil of Summer is there to beat Orcish Bowmasters with your draw spells like Echo of Aeons or Song of Creation, and make sure that your spells resolve. And it beats Vexing Bauble. So Veil of Summer is just so good in a lot of different matchups now. And I think it's like, if you're not playing Veil of Summer in your Legacy Storm combo deck, I think you're doing it wrong. This card is crucial at this point. And then we have some utility cards like Aether Spellbomb, the grab off of Urza's Saga. We have my favorite card, Galvanic Relay. That's what really sold me on this deck. I think it's so sweet. And yeah. So today we're playing Temur Legacy Storm combo. This deck is sort of reminiscent of Riddler, but gets rid of the creatures that lose to Orcish Bowmaster, so I really enjoyed that as well. So without any further ado, that is my deck tech. I hope you stick around and watch the matches. I will see you there. All right, match 1 coming up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Round number 1 with Song of Echoes Storm. Let's see what we get here. Urza Saga. We have the Narset. The downside here is we don't have Echo of Aeons. We actually can't cast any of our spells. We will mulligan. We're an artifact short of greatness here. I'm going to keep and bottom the repeal. Okay, so I'm going to play Taiga and pass the turn. The plan is on turn 2, we'll play Land Grant, followed by Land Grant is free spells. Land Grant you can only play for free if you have no other lands in your hand. So my game plan is I'm going to play out Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, and then play the first Land Grant. So this Galvanic Relay is almost guaranteed to resolve with a minimum Storm of 5. And they did not shuffle on the Ponder. We drew another land. So I'm actually going to just pass the turn here. Because I can't play both Land Grants for free, so we'll just wait. They play Flooded Strand. So they could have Consigned to Memory now, so us drawing a land last turn was worst case scenario. We'll play Lotus Petal. They paused a really long time on that. I'm pretty sure they have Consigned to Memory in their hand. But I'm not sure if I'm allowed to play around it. We'll play Land Grant. Land Grant finally resolves. Our opponent took a very long time on that. And now we will Land Grant again. We'll grab the Taiga, and now we're going to get our Galvanic Relay Consigned to Memory. We will tap for red, and then tap the 2 copies of Tropical Island. Galvanic Relay Storm is 5. Oh, no Consigned to Memory. I'll take it. Galvanic Relay Echo of Aeons Lotus Petal. Urza Saga. And a Narset. So a little bit clunky. I would have liked some more mana in there, like a mix of lands and spells would have been good. Our opponent plays a Brainstorm. They fetch with Flooded Strand. Great Tundra. Okay. Volcanic Island. So before the Volcanic Island, I thought that they were on Stifle Knot. It appears that they're just on Jeskai control. And they're going to brainstorm in their main phase to transform the Tamiyo. Alright, Tamiyo has transformed. They have 5 cards in hand. And now we get to play with our Galvanic Relay cards. Chrome Mox. Okay, let's play the Urza Saga as our land for turn. Alright, the first chapter happens. We'll play out the Lotus Petal. And what? Now we will tap for blue mana and then play Narset. I'm guessing that the Narset gets countered. Force of Negation, exiling Force of Will. Okay. We'll play the Chrome Mox from our hand. I'm not going to imprint. And then we'll Galvanic Relay for 5 again. Tap the Taiga, Mox Opal, and use a Lotus Petal. So unfortunately, the Echo of Aeons is just going to be exiled and we can't cast it. But, you know, the draw 4 was still decent. Chrome Mox, Narset, Land Grant, and another Galvanic Relay. Okay. We're in a decent spot here. The opponent could minus the Tamiyo and return Force of Negation this turn. Let's see if that's what they do. No, they plussed it. A Sign of Strength. 4th Aralingas. Okay. We will take 4. They have 2 cards in hand. Lion's Eye Diamond. Urza Saga goes to the second chapter. I'm going to test the waters here with the Narset. Let's see if it resolves. They have 3 cards in their hand after they drew with Monarch. Another Force of Negation, exiling Force of Will. Okay, we will play Taiga as our land for the turn. And now we will play Song of Creation. And that resolves. Okay, let's play the Lion's Eye Diamond. Because I might just discard my hand to make mana. And that's definitely what I'm going to do here. We will make 3 blue. Play Land Grant for free. Trigger the song. And I'm just going to auto-yield here. Echo of Aeons, Veil of Summer. Oh no, there's no more forest. What a shame. Alright, we will now play Mox Opal. We hit Noxious Revival. Let's put that Lion's Eye Diamond back on top. We'll pay 2 life. Definitely interested in a Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play Chrome Mox. Let's imprint the Land Grant. Play Veil of Summer. Okay, and now we're really rolling here. We'll play Spell Bomb because I can. Engineered Explosives, that's a cool one. Could theoretically kill 4 Theralingas tokens. And our opponent concedes. Too easy. You opened up on Quad Force, wasn't enough. I mean, they only played 2 of them, but they drew 4. Alright, so we'll bring in the defense grid. We might want something like Haywire Might. I don't hate the Flusterstorm. I don't think we want Force of Wills. I think that's approaching the matchup the wrong way. So we'll get rid of the Aether Spellbomb. We're at 62 cards. I sort of don't think we need 4 copies of Repeal. So I'm now beginning to wonder if Force of Will is better than some of these other cards here. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we do want Force of Will. Side out Engineered Explosives. We probably don't need the Noxious Revival. Take out like 2 Repeal. And the Elvish Spirit Guide. Like, let's try this. Okay, this is not bad. This is turn 1 Galvanic Relay or Narset. We have Urza Saga to go get Lion's Eye Diamond for Echo of Aeons eventually. I like this. It would be even better if we could draw into like a Mox Opal. Because Mox Opal would make it so I could have Flusterstorm backup. Our opponent takes a mulligan we're obviously going to keep. Let's go. They play Volcanic Island. Into Tamiyo. You got it. We drew another Chrome Mox. I mean, it's Storm, I guess. We'll play the Chrome Mox. Imprint the Flusterstorm. We'll play Lotus Petal. Maybe I should have played Petal first. Because if that got forced, I would feel very foolish. Okay, so I can play the Narset right now. Or I can just cash in on the Galvanic Relay. I feel like Relay's the play I want to make here. We'll play the Chromox. I don't think I'm going to imprint. Yeah, no imprint. Imprinting would guarantee the ability to activate Urza Saga, but I don't want to exile either of these cards from my hand, so we'll just take the Galvanic Relay for 4. Land Grant, Lion's Eye Diamond, Land Grant. Oh, that was not good. That was so bad. I hate it. I hate it so much. Okay. That was not good. They play Ponder. They did not shuffle. 5 cards in their hand. They play Flooded Strand. They're fetching. Great Tundra. Prismatic Ending. That hurts. Now I can't play the Narset. Okay. And we drew a land. Ah. Oh, so devastating here. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond. I'm just going to spin the wheel on Echo. It stinks, and I'm probably going to get forced and we lose, and then we'll go to game 3. But I don't think that this game played out in a manner for us to be able to win, unfortunately. Like, triple Land Grant was so bad. And then we drew the land. They force of will. We can go to the next one. That was terrible. Okay. I'm going to bring in the Elvish Spear Guide, and we'll board out 1 Repeal. I felt tight on mana, which might be silly, but I don't think Repeal's very good here. The one upside of Repeal is that it cycles with Mox Opal. This is good. We can keep this. Our opponent took a mulligan to 6. Okay, so we're just going to play the Tropical Island past the turn. So it's worth noting, next turn I cannot play Galvanic Relay off of Land Grant because I need a 3rd artifact for this Mox Opal. But having Galvanic Relay versus the blue deck is so good that I don't want to send this back. They play Prismatic Vista. We draw another Echo. We will pass the turn. So you might be wondering, why not play Land Grant and then next turn play Land Grant again to get to 3 mana? That is an option. I just don't think it's a very good one because it telegraphs what your play is. Your opponent knows how to use their counterspells against you. I'd rather just play a slightly better game. All right, so we missed again. We drew the Brain Freeze. I'm going to just discard Echo. Our draws have been less than ideal. They play Tundra, Volcanic Island, into Basic Plains. What is this? Teferi Time Raveler. So that makes my Force of Wills and Flusterstorms not very good. Okay. Another Land Grant. You're killing me, deck. Alright, I'm going to play Land Grant. They let it resolve. We'll grab a Taiga. Play the Taiga and pass the turn. They minus Teferi to draw a card. And they have their own Narset. So now my Echo Vans don't work. And the Song of Creations. So we probably realistically can't win here. I mean, I have 1 Repeal left in the deck. And we had our own forces, but Teferi, plus I never drew anything that was decent this game. And now we find our own Narset. We'll play Land Grant. We'll grab Tropical Island. We will play the Tropical Island. Play another Land Grant. Grab Taiga. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. Mox Opal. And then Galvanic Relay for 5. Lotus Petal, Song of Creation. Urza Saga, Haywire Might, Chrome Mox. That actually wasn't terrible. They play Ponder. Did not shuffle on Ponder. They plus Teferi. And they're passing the turn. Another Galvanic Relay. Let's play Urza Saga. Lotus Petal. I'm going to play Chromox and exile the Echo that's in my hand. Like, I just don't need 2 copies of Echo Aeons. Play the Haywire Might. We'll play Narset. I'm guessing that Narset is going to be countered here. And it is. Surprise, surprise. And now we will Galvanic Relay for 6. Chromox, Echo Aeons, Force of Will. We hit the Repeal, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. They play Prismatic Vista. They have 6 cards in hand. They minus the Narset. They find Pyroblast. A good one. They plus Teferi. So as of right now, my Haywire Might could attack and kill the Narset Parter or Veils, but our opponent probably has a removal spell if they're not, or a Tamio. if they weren't willing to protect it another way. So we know that they have Pyroblast. We drew another Galvanic Relay. I mean, that was good. Alright, we'll play the land. Let's tap this Mox Opal for blue. I mean, I suppose I could repeal the Tamio. Get them to use their force that way. Or the Pyroblast, I'm sorry. The Pyroblast that way. Ooh, they didn't. We'll attack with Haywire Might. Attack the Narset. Swords to Plowshares, sure. We'll play Mox Opal. We'll keep the new one. Crow Mox. No imprint. We'll play another Crow Mox. No imprint. We're going to Brain Freeze them for 18. So my thought process here is I am not going to be able to beat this Narset or use this Brain Freeze reliably just because they could sign to memory my Brain Freeze. Wow. Sure. That was amazing. Because I can't Song of Creation or Echo, so this Brain Freeze was actually useless. I was like, maybe I'll be able to mill their win conditions. But instead it ended up being Duress for Galvanic Relay. Okay. We hit Defense Grid and another Urza's Saga. 25 cards left in our deck. They're gonna bounce the Teferi, or bounce the Saga. I'm gonna discard my hand here and create a construct. Okay. They played the Tamio. 5 cards remain in their hand. They brainstorm to immediately transform the Tamio. We haven't seen a single Veil of Summer, and we've seen over half of our deck. I'm just pointing that out. I feel like we're sort of due. I'd like to draw Veil of Summer. So now they can plus the Tamio, which will make my construct a 4 power when it goes to attack, assuming I don't play out any other artifacts first. Prismatic Ending on the construct. Okay. Nope, we draw Force of Will. Bummer. Alright, so we'll play another Urza Saga. Let's try Defense Grid. They fetch in response for a basic mountain. Force of Negation. They have 3 cards left in hand. Tap the Mox Opal. We'll play another Mox Opal. We'll play Crow Mox. So I'm trying to play around back to basics here. So that is why I am fetching and playing out all these artifacts. Like, I could just tap my lands, but I'm trying to not lose to back to basics, which might be silly, but it's what I'm doing here. We'll play Song, which allows me to play another Urza Saga. And now I'll play out these artifacts and pass. I can't draw the cards due to Narset. Alright, so we have a large board. Pass the turn. They have 3 cards. They fetch for a basic island. Is this 4th Aralingas? Yeah, I can't beat 4th here, I don't think. So we're going to take 10 down to 11. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can't win. We drew another Saga. I mean, that was actually a good draw here. We'll play the Saga. Pass the turn. So there's the question here on if I want to try to play around Consign to Memory or Sorcery Speed removal like Prismatic Ending. I think they probably have more Prismatic Endings than they do Consign to Memories, so I'm going to wait to see if they attack. They return 4th Aralingas. Okay, that's definitely going to kill me here. Yep. Okay, we can concede. Unfortunate. So we got smushed. We're starting this league off 0-1. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're on the play. So these repeals are free cycles here. I don't know what that means for us, but it's an option. I think we should probably just mulligan. I will keep. I'm going all in on turn 1. I don't see any value in waiting. Like, you might be thinking, like, what if your opponent has Force of Will? Yeah, what if? Like, what if they're Moon Stompy? You know, like, I just don't think it's wise to be waiting. Alright, so they took a long pause on the first diamond. They might just have it. They might not, but I'm going to cast Echo Veons here. This hand didn't do anything else, and I think waiting actually just makes your situation worse. Alright, Echo, floating 4 mana, Storm is 3. And they do have Force of Will, exiling Daze. Alright, I'm going to see what they're playing and then concede, because we're not going to win this. I guess, okay, maybe I'll stick it out. We have a Saga in play that can get a Lion's Eye Diamond, and then I could draw another Echo, so maybe I'll stick it out. And it looks like they're on Dimir Reanimator. Everyone thought it was gone after the Grief ban, but if you look at the challenge results from over the weekend, Friday night it put in 2 in a top 8, and then the Saturday night challenge, it won and then 9th place. I don't know how it did in the Saturday morning challenge. I didn't see those results. We'll play out of Taiga. Pass the turn. They play Brainstorm. Not a fetch land, so they play Underground Sea. They could still have a Troll of Khazad-dûm, but they don't. Tamiyo. Alright, we want to draw Echo Veons here. Or another Urza Saga. We will tap the Urza Saga. I think you're still supposed to grab a Lion's Eye Diamond here. There's like some argument to going to get like a Mox Opal or something, so that way you could try to make more constructs, but like realistically Opal doesn't work. You could grab Lotus Petal, so that on the next turn you might be able to make a construct, but you'd still have to draw land or another piece of mana. Actually, no, you're guaranteed 1 construct. My apologies, but you're not guaranteed 2. So I'd rather grab the Lion's Eye Diamond here with the upside of potentially getting back in this game if I draw Echo. Psychic Frog. Yep. Draw step. Womp womp. We will pass. They attack, they create a clue token, Psychic Frog will deal me at least 1, and then they'll draw a card. They discard Thoughtseize, Mox Opal, which is just too late at this point. So we'll tap the Urza Saga for mana. I guess I can grab Aether Spellbomb to draw a card. Like, I don't think bouncing Psychic Frog actually does us any favors, so let's draw a card here. We hit the Repeal. Okay, so we can cycle Repeal and draw a card. We'll bounce the Chrome Mox, I guess. Maybe it's actually better to bounce the Opal. I was thinking that, I mean, it's probably better to bounce Opal here. But I was thinking that if I bounce the Chrome Mox and replay it, I don't care if it's countered. But maybe it's just better. And I'm punished by drawing the Echo. Because it would definitely be better to have an Echo with an untapped Mox Opal here. So that's my own fault. And if they had double days, I could pay for double... yeah, I could pay for double days. Spin the wheel. And they have another Force of Will. Okay. I'm good. We can go to the next one. That was not fun. So let's try to do better this time. We want Defense Grid. I guess we'll bring in Tormod's Crypt. I don't even think it's that good, but well, it's probably better than Engineered Explosives. Noxious Revival is actually Disruption here. I don't think Repeal is great, so we'll board those out. We'll bring in Flusterstorm. Let's try this. Alright, on the play for game 2. We'll try it, I suppose. Play the Tropical first and then pass. So my game plan here is that I want to slow roll the Saga and try to create constructs and avoid Wasteland. So, Tropical Island down. Now we're forced to play out the Saga unless I draw another land, and I didn't. So, we probably won't be able to make constructs now. But what it does do is grab a Lion's Eye Diamond for this Echo Veons. Land Grant can grab a green source for Veil of Summer. Okay, well that's going to discard my Veil of Summer. Goodbye to the Veil. They have 6 cards remaining. We draw Chrome Mox, so I can actually make constructs now. We'll play the Land Grant, grab Taiga, we'll play the Taiga, play the Chrome Mox, exile a Repeal, and I think they're more likely to have Consign to Memory than removal spells, so I'm going to activate the Urza Saga now to make a construct. They play Ponder. Polluted Delta. They're at 16 life after the activation. And another Ponder. So on our turn, we're going to activate the Saga to make another construct. and then we'll go search out a Lion's Eye Diamond. We draw another Echo. Like I said, we'll make another Construct. Tormod's Crypt is actually really interesting here. I think I still want the Lion's Eye Diamond, though. We'll play the Land Grant. Grab Tropical Island. We'll play it. Attack for 4. They're at 12. They have 7 cards in hand. And they did nothing. Okay. We draw another Lion's Eye Diamond. So this will put them to 2. Petty Theft. I'll repeal my own construct. So this way the Petty Theft will fizzle. They won't get it. And I'll get to draw a card. Okay. Pass the turn. They Brainstorm. Play a Wasteland. They have 6 cards in hand. We draw Chrome Mox. Let's play Chrome Mox. Imprint the Song. So you might be wondering why not try to hardcast the Song. Well, our opponent is a Daze deck. So if I hardcast Song and then they Daze, I have to get rid of a Lion's Eye Diamond for a spell that might not even resolve. It doesn't seem worth it to me. They're going to ping me and probably block with the Orc Army. That's exactly what happens. We will pass. Dauthi Voidwalker. Okay. So it's going to shut off my Echoes. Let's try a Defense Grid. I mean, they haven't played a single piece of counter magic this game. They're likely to have something for Defense Grid here. They just let it go. Okay. We will attack for 6. Pass the turn. Psychic Frog. They have 5 cards in hand, so they can make this a 6/7. But I need to draw an artifact here. Okay, they attack with the Dauthi. Artifact, please. That's an artifact. Aether Spellbomb. So even if they discard their entire hand, the Psychic Frog cannot live. Aether Spellbomb is actually a perfect draw step here because the Dauthi Voidwalker can be bounced, and then we can cast Echo of Aeons. And they're just really discarding everything here. Okay, so if I do the Spellbomb, discard my hand into Echo Line, my Construct token will die. I don't want that to happen. We can just be a little bit more patient and wait till next turn to win the game. And our opponent concedes. Perfect. Game 3 coming up. Submit. Well, this is a hand I will keep. It loses to like Thoughtseize and Daze, but I think you're supposed to keep this. This hand is actually quite good. They play Wasteland, so no Thoughtseize or Daze. They probably have a Force, but I have Veil of Summer into Echo. We'll play a Chrome Mox. Imprint Song of Creation. Lion's Eye Diamond. Mox Opal. And now we will attempt a Veil of Summer. That just resolves. We'll make a blue. Discard our hand and Flashback Echo. Storm is 5. 1 mana floating. We do have a land drop. I can Galvanic Relay here. We'll play Chrome Mox. I think you're supposed to imprint a Relay. We'll play the Saga. Play the Opal. And then Galvanic Relay for 8. Oh, I don't need to tap that. Relay for 8. Defense Grid, Narset, Taiga, Tropical Island. Repeal. Echo of Aeons. Mox Opal. Blusterstorm. That was not that great. They play Polluted Delta. We needed more mana in there. Could use a Lion's Eye Diamond. I guess that's the downside of playing a deck that does not have Dark Ritual in it, is that like we're just really choked on mana. Because like Lion's Eye Diamond is really your only plus anything in the deck that isn't like a Mox. We'll play Tropical Island. Let's repeal the Mox Opal. We ripped Diamond. That was perfect. We'll replay Opal. Let's try Lion's Eye Diamond. So this is going to be 7 total mana, 8 with the other Opal. So you might be thinking Narset into Echo. You can't discard Echo from exile to the graveyard and then flash it back. That's not how Magic works. So that is not an available line here. I'm going to attempt a Veil of Summer. They Force Will exiling Ponder. I will Veil of Summer. I would like to draw 2 cards. Song of Creation, which I can't cast. Veil of Summer? Into another land grant. That was terrible. There's no other way of putting that. So we still have the ability to hard cast the Echo here, or I could just play Narset. I think I just want to play the Narset. I get 8 looks over the next 2 turns at another Echo of Aeons, or if I spike one now, we probably win the game. Minus the Narset, or another Lion's Eye Diamond, actually. Ding. We'll play the Diamond. Discard our hand. I could play a land grant here for Storm, but I'm not going to. We will cast Echo. Get rid of your hand, opponent. They fetch in response. You have 1 card in your hand. Okay, so I think I want to play the Defense Grid. But I could still flashback Echo too. Maybe I shouldn't play Defense Grid yet. Yeah, I probably shouldn't. We'll make blue and then red. Let's flashback Echo. Spin, spin, Storm 15. I can hardcast this Echo with all these Lotus Petals. Play out the Tormod's Crypt. We'll tap the Veil of Summer Chrome Mox. Play Echo of Aeons again, Storm 20. We did not find the Brain Freeze yet. Exile Veil of Summer. We'll make a green with Elvish Spirit Guide. Lion's Eye Diamond. Make 3 blue. Flashback Echo, Storm 24. And we still have not found what we want here. Okay, so I can play another Narset, though. We'll do that. Keep the new one. Minus on the Narset. We found Relay, but I'm actually a mana short of casting it. I'll take the Repeal just to be safe. Because if they play like a Bowmasters or a Psychic Frog, I can remove it next turn. We'll play the Defense Grid. Play out the Lion's Eye Diamond. Pass the turn. Storm 27 could not find Brain Freeze. They cycle a Troll of Khazad-dûm. Okay. I guess they couldn't play out a Bowmasters or a Psychic Frog. It's like literally impossible because they had no hand. Let's minus Narset. We'll take a Lion's Eye Diamond. Play the Diamond. And now we will play another Narset. Keep the new one. Minus Narset. Take Song of Creation. We'll play Song. I have 1 Echo left in my deck. We're going to hold priority and cast Land Grant. We'll add blue, red, and green. Another Song of Creation. Okay, we'll grab Tropical Island. I don't really want to play another Song of Creation. Drawing 4 cards is pretty dangerous. I don't want to accidentally deck myself. I have 1 Echo left. We're here to have fun. Let's play the song. We will now draw 4 cards per. Okay. Mox Opal. We drew the Brain Freeze. Storm is 7. We'll play Urza Saga. Play Land Grant for free. We hit the Lion's Eye Diamond. So the Echo can't be in the bottom 4 cards of our deck. That's the stipulation here. There it is. Okay, so we'll discard our hand. Actually, hold on. Do I want to hardcast this? I think I do. Because then I get to shuffle twice with Echo. So the Petal will bring me down to 5. The Echo will bring me down to 1. So we'll make a mana with the Petal. Hardcast the... Sorry, I misclicked there. Hardcast the Echo. And then we will make 3 blue. And now Echo resolves. Storm 11. We'll play Lotus Petal. Play Lotus Petal. Our Storm count is not high enough to win yet. There's the Brain Freeze. Lion's Eye Diamond. Tap Mox Opal. We'll play another. Keep the new one. Lion's Eye Diamond. I might actually have to Echo here just to get high enough up on Storm. I could repeal back a song too, so that way I don't die. That might not be a bad idea here. Okay, so I'm going to flashback Echo now. Because I just need the Storm count. We found the Brain Freeze. Wonderful. We'll play the Lotus Petal. Play another Narset. Keep the new one. Minus Narset. Take Lion's Eye Diamond. And I suppose we can just Brain Freeze. Deck you. And we are slowly decking the opponent here, down to 0 cards. I love it. We'll now discard our hand of Song of Creation. I can actually use the Tormod script to exile their whole deck. That's pretty cool. And we did it. We have beaten Dimir Reanimator. Wow, that was a ride. We are now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. For round number 3, we're on the draw, and we've opened up a hand where we technically have a Galvanic Relay for 3 on turn 2. Our opponent tends to play non-blue decks. I don't know what they're playing today, but this hand doesn't inspire me with a lot of confidence. I think I'm going to mulligan. This hand doesn't function, unfortunately. We will go to 5. This hand is not very good. I think I'm going to go to 4. I'm sort of on Lion's Eye Diamond plus Echo or Bust at this point. To 4. To 3. To 2. I guess we'll keep 2. This was terrible. I don't even know if we saw an Echo in any of those hands. Alright. The old mulligan to 2. Lion's Eye Diamond. Vexing Bauble. It looks like they're on the Quentin Black Saga Storm deck. We'll play Urza's Saga, pass the turn. They're definitely favored because our deck only wins with Brain Freeze, and they're a 4 Veil of Summer deck. We actually ripped the Echo, wow. So if for some reason they cycle Bobble, I could try to spin the wheel on Echo next turn. They did not draw off the Vexing Bauble. Okay, so we're a Veil of Summer away from greatness now. We'll grab Lion's Eye Diamond. Play Tropical. Pass the turn. Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, we've probably lost now. I guess Veil of Summer actually beats Bowmasters too, because I need a Veil of Summer either way. But I also need them to not draw Veil of Summer. So, a little bit of wishful thinking. We have to pass. Another Bowmasters. Thoughtseize. They take the Narset. Ouch, I go to 12. We actually ripped the Veil. Okay, so I don't know if we can actually win if our opponent has Veil, which is a problem, but we're going to try to do some stuff here. Let's draw a new hand. Spin the wheel. Echo of Aeons. And they do have Veil of Summer. So this is the problem, because our deck can only win with Urza's Saga now. And there's no Grape Shot in the sideboard. So I can play Lion's Eye Diamond, which can't be countered. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's a way to beat Veil, because they're going to have a massive Orc that I just can't beat. We'll play Chrome Mox, imprint the Noxious Revival, repeal my own Opal. Like, I guess in theory, I could draw and loot my deck a bunch, bounce all the Bowmasters, and, like, pass the turn. Like, that's probably how you win, is you repeal your opponent's entire board. Okay, so, like, I guess that's the line, but I would have to rip an Echo here, and I didn't. Okay, so we lose. We want Force of Will. We want the Fluster. We want Haywire Might. We think I want Dismember. It's a lot of cards. I think I'm going to get rid of the Aether Spellbomb. 67 cards. It's a lot. Get rid of the Galvanic Relay. I wonder if Defense Grid is good. But I'm boarding in a bunch of counter spells, so probably not. Get rid of the Noxious Revival. And then maybe board out 2 Repeal. Let's try this. On the play for game number 2. It has Force of Will, but it doesn't actually do a whole lot. I'm going to mulligan. This is a turn 1 Narset. I'll keep. I think turn 1 Narset is worth trying. Double Leyline of the Void. That's not cool. Okay, we'll land grant. Go grab Tropical Island. We'll play the Tropical. Exile the Spirit Guide. And play Narset. Minus the Narset. Take land grant. And then we'll play land grant. Go grab Taiga. Pass the turn. They play Chrome Mox. Lion's Eye Diamond. Bowmasters here is so obnoxious because it's going to essentially beat my Narset. Yeah, that was the one card I did not want to see here. Minus Narset. We'll take Lotus Petal. Play out the Lotus Petal, pass the turn. They swing, the Narset will die. Lion's Eye Diamond. Vexing Bauble. So I can't play the Chrome Mox because of Vexing Bauble. I have to pass. Ooh, they just draw a card. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. I go to 18. Chrome Mox. Exile Echo. Green. Red. Blue. Lotus Petal doesn't matter. Song of Creation. Pass the turn. I'm at 16. We'll play Land Grant for free. I'm going to draw 2. And now I can Veil of Summer the Bowmaster triggers. So we will take 2 to start. This game is winnable here. Grab Tropical. We'll play it. Chrome Mox. So I don't want to show my opponent the Force of Wills this game if I don't have to. And unfortunately we found one here. Imprint the Song. Veil of Summer again. Can I draw some zeros? Did we just fizzle? I have to force this. It's the only way to keep going. Yep, I'm going to have to show them everything here. This is a bummer. I did not want to show them Flusterstorm and Force of Will. That was not one of my goals. Veil of Summer now resolves. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond. We found Narset. Play the Chrome Mox. We find Dismember. With this still on the stack, I'm going to kill the Bowmasters. And we can imprint Veil. Play Engineered Explosives. Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. Tap the Opal for blue. We'll play another Mox Opal. We have found Force of Will. Tap the Opal. We'll play another Opal. Play Urza Saga as the land for the turn. We'll play Narset. 14 cards left in deck. Minus the Narset. We find the Brain Freeze. Okay. They concede. Sweet. So they boarded into the Flood Maw. I think I might want... Or I'm sorry, they boarded in Leylines. I think I might want Into the Flood Maw. We'll board out 1 Engineered Explosives. I'm going to keep. This hand is very, very risky. But I'm going to keep it. Urza Saga. Lion's Eye Diamond. Chrome Mox. Yep. Imprints Veil of Summer. Vexing Bauble. I'm going to attempt a Force of Will. And do Echo of Aeons. I mean, they opened up a very good hand. Chrome Mox. Yeah, I mean, turn 1 Protected Echo is very good. Yep. I mean, my new hand's not bad either. Lava Spur Boots. I would like to draw Lion's Eye Diamond, please. Song of Creation. I can play that on turn 1, but then I can't do anything else. I think I'm going to just pass the turn after playing out a couple zeros. Get rid of Echo of Aeons. Pass the turn. Saga goes to the second chapter. Vexing Bauble. I'm going to allow this to resolve, because I can Into the Flood Maw it after, and if they go like Lion's Eye Diamond... Well, I guess they can't go Lion's Eye Diamond post Bauble unless they also have Veil of Summer. I'm going to attempt Into the Flood Maw on Vexing Bauble. You can have a fish. They draw a card instead. Okay. We have a lot of good draws here. Let's see one. That'll do. So we'll play Saga. And now we can play Song. And then we will play Land Grant for free. Draw 2. So now we can play Opal and then force our own Opal. We'll play our land, play the Mox Opal. I think I want a Veil of Summer with this on the stack because I could still force it later. And now I don't want to. So I think we've likely won now. That for blue. We'll play an Opal. There's the Brain Freeze. I'm going to show them my hand with Land Grant. We won! Wow, that was intense. 2-1. Oh, by the way, I keep on forgetting Velgrim. I am so sorry. Velgrim is a Combo Cabal member of this YouTube channel, and because of that, they get a free tutoring session every single month on top of all of their perks. But in addition to that tutoring session with me, you get a free donation deck every single month. And Velgrim wanted to see this deck today that he saw in a Japanese tournament decklist dump. And I think it's really sweet. And Velgrim, I am so sorry that I didn't say it sooner. Honestly, it just slipped my mind. And I'm not doing this out of spite or anything else. It's just, you know, stuff comes up and I forget sometimes. I'm not perfect. But I really do appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And I hope that we win the next 2. All right, let's go play round number 4. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we're on the play. Yeah, this seems fine. Keep. We're 1 mana off from Song of Creation. I like that. Opponent with a very quick mulligan. Tropical Island, will play out Lotus Petal, pass the turn. There's some argument to playing out the Spell Bomb, but I don't know what our opponent's playing, and I want to have Veil of Summer open if I need it. Ancient Tomb, Ruby Medallion. Okay, well I don't need this Veil of Summer. Okay. They have 4 cards in hand. We find Galvanic Relay. That does not help me here. We'll play out the Chrome Mox. Imprint Veil of Summer, play the Spell Bomb, draw a card. We draw Brain Freeze. So we hit back-to-back bad draws this turn. They play a Mountain, Reckless Impulse, Mountain Manamorphose. Lion's Eye Diamond is our best draw here, and instead we find Galvanic Relay. Unfortunately, we have to pass. So my game plan here is hope that the opponent fizzles, and then I'm going to Brain Freeze myself. They Reckless Impulse, they hit Seething Song Mountain, so they can go Seething Song and a Manamorphose here. That's what happens. Reckless Impulse, they had a Jeska's Will and a Ren's Resolve. So I could try to Brain Freeze myself in response to the Jeska's. Well, I guess if they're not going to make mana, it doesn't matter. They Ren's Resolve again. Ren's Resolve. So they are looking at this Jeska's Will as mana, I think. Double Manamorphose. They have 2 cards left in their hand. They play Manamorphose. Seething Song. That's one of the cards they drew off Manamorphose. Jeska's Will to exile the top 3. Bonus round Manamorphose. Storm is 9. So they're actually getting to a point where I might be able to deck them with this Brain Freeze. This is Storm 10. So Brain Freeze would copy itself as Storm 11. There'd be 33 cards. That's not enough. I need them to draw cards again. I need another Manamorphose. They Rite of Flame. There it is. Another Manamorphose. I believe we can deck them now with this Brain Freeze. Wow. This is the easiest one I've ever had. Probably not true, because I've had people just concede before. Like, there's been a few times where, like, I've queued into someone, they read the name Brant Cook and just concede the match. But this is pretty easy. Target you! And now they realize that they're dead. Alright, so maybe Brain Freeze wasn't a terrible draw after all. Sweet. Love that for us. Alright, so we definitely want Force of Will. We want Flusterstorm. We want the Haywire Mite. We want the Needle. I think we want Into the Floodmaws. They are a Past in Flames build, so you could even argue for Tormod's Crypt. So that's a lot of cards. We're not going to be able to keep all this stuff in our deck. But Galvanic Relay is pretty terrible here, so we can get rid of that. I don't think that this is a very good Engineered Explosives matchup. We don't need the Aether Spellbomb. And now we're at 65. I don't want Noxious Revival, and I don't need Veil of Summer. So we actually did get to bring in everything. Submit. And our blue count is now much higher for Force of Will. We will keep the hand that has turn 1 Echo of Aeon. So my fear here is that some builds of Ruby Storm play Vexing Bauble, and if they play turn 1 Vexing Bauble, our hand does nothing. They have Mountain, Rite of Flame, okay. My best draw, and it's not even close, is another copy of Lion's Eye Diamond. I mean, I would take any 0 mana artifact, really, that isn't Mox Opal, but I would love another Lion's Eye Diamond. Desperate Ritual. They're going for a turn 1. 3 mana. Seething Song. 2 cards left in hand. Ren's Resolve. Ancient Tomb, Desperate Ritual. So this is not great for me because I'm about to give them a new hand. Into Galvanic Relay for 6. So there's a good chance that if I pass the turn, I'm dead. Yeah, so I think we have to spin. We drew another Echo, which is useless. So I'm going to spin on Echo. Draw a new hand. Storm is 2. Or sorry, 3. And I fizzled here. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond. Play the Chrome Mox. We'll imprint into the Flood Maw. Let's repeal our Mox Opal. Narset. That has text on it. Okay, because now if I hit another Echo, we could Mind Twist the opponent. Play Narset. Minus the Narset. Brain Freeze. I guess we'll take Brain Freeze. I mean, do I even want it is another question. Because they're Jessica's Will deck. Yeah, I guess we'll take it. Pass the turn. It would have been better if I could have hit like another Mox Opal so that way I could keep open into the Flood Maw. They play Ruby Medallion. Desperate Ritual. Bonus round. Into Rite of Flame. Alright, I'm going to F6. If they have it, they have it. So now they play another bonus round from their hand. They still have Jessica's Will and Burning Wish in exile. So I believe that they have more than enough cards to win now. Yeah, okay, they got it. We can go to the next game. They opened up on a very good start. We can go to game 3. Submit. On the play. This doesn't actually do anything. Like, it's a hand that's got a lot of zeros, but it doesn't actually function. I'm going to mulligan. So this can play turn 1 Song of Creation. No, it can't. If this was a 7, it would work, but it's not. We'll go to 5. Sure, keep. Bottom repeal, bottom Urza's Saga. The opponent kept 7, but they're about to get a new hand. Play the Island, play Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond. Add 3 blue, Flashback Echo. Storm is 3, 2 mana in play. So we can play Song of Creation here. Red, green, and any color will play Song. Play the Land Grant for free, which triggers Song of Creation. We'll go grab a Tropical Island. Play the Tropical. Play Chrome Mox, which will once again trigger Song. And I think we're off to the races here. I'm going to exile the Echo just because I don't think I need it. And by exiling it, I guarantee the ability to cast repeals, which are just more Storm in order to win. Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play another Mox Opal. Play a Lotus Petal. Tap the Opal. We'll play Repeal targeting the Mox Opal. And there's the Brain Freeze. We need a little bit more Storm in order to win. Exile the Spirit Guide. Play a Chrome Mox. Exile Song of Creation. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. How much mana do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's enough for me to repeal my own Song of Creation plus Brain Freeze. So we'll bounce the Song of Creation. And Storm 20 will be Brain Freeze. Boom! 3 and 1. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? Alright, the fifth and final round, we're facing J.A. Alessio, who's known for playing Moonstompy type decks. And we've opened up a first turn Narset. I think I'm down to try this. Our opponent ended up keeping 6 cards. We'll play Taiga, play out a Chrome Mox, imprint Narset Parter of Veils, play Chrome Mox, imprint Song of Creation, and then we'll play Narset. Narset Parter of Veils resolves, we'll minus, take the Echo of Aeons, and then let's land grant. We'll go grab a Tropical Island. Pass the turn. They play Basic Mountain into Vexing Bauble, so that will stop a Lion's Eye Diamond, which is what I drew. So now we need to find Veil of Summer, minus the Narset. And I just find more Echoes. I will take a Mox Opal, just because another Echo doesn't actually help me. Or if I do draw the Veil of Summer, I'm in a better spot, or if I draw Song of Creation, I could play Song plus 2 artifacts. Another Vexing Bauble, okay, sure. Maybe we'll discard Echo the old-fashioned way. They draw a card using Vexing Bauble, and they pass. We continue to not draw anything that helps. Even in Urza Saga, this game would have been good. Relay. Okay, so I'm willing to throw some of these artifacts into Galvanic Relay. I'm going to keep Lion's Eye Diamond around, so we'll Galvanic Relay for 4. Veil of Summer, Mox Opal, Engineered Explosives, and Aether Spellbomb. They found their second land. Exile Simian Spirit Guide. 3 mana. For a Goblin Rabblemaster, so they can create a 1/1 Goblin with haste that will kill my Narset Parter of Veils. So we have a more competitive game now. We draw Song of Creation, which is probably just insane here. We need to start off with Veil of Summer. And now we'll play the Mox Opal, which is not countered by Vexing Bauble because of the Veil. And now we can play Song of Creation. Play out Lion's Eye Diamond. We draw 2 cards off the Song. Whoops, did not want to do that. I want to turn off my auto yields. Alright, so I'm going to hold priority, play Lion's Eye Diamond. In response to this, I'm going to Noxious Revival on Narset, pay 2 life. In response to that, I'm going to add 3 blue. So now we'll draw the Narset. I'm going to auto yield again to the Bauble. Draw 2. There's the Narset. We'll play the Seat. Play the Narset. Draw 2. Lotus Petal. Play Island. Play the Lotus Petal. Okay, and now we will discard our hand to Lion's Eye Diamond to make 3 blue. Flash back the Echo, and we get to Mind Twist the opponent here. Sweet, Storm is 10. And our hand is just incredible now. We'll play Lotus Petal. And we just have to play artifacts until we find our Brain Freeze. Chrome Mox. There's the Brain Freeze. Exile the Song of Creation. We'll play another Mox Opal. Now we just need to get our Storm count high enough in order to win. Play another Chrome Mox. Exile Veil. No, we'll exile Land Grant. Play Explosives for 1. I should play the Explosives in exile, I suppose. And then we'll use the Explosives because I can. We'll play another Mox Opal. Storm is 17. Explosives for 0. And that should be enough. We will Brain Freeze the opponent. They'll have to mill 57. Sweet. We are 1 game away from a solid finish. We lost round number 1, but we've so far made a pretty decent comeback. We'll bring in Force of Will into the Flood Maw and Haywire Might. I think Veil of Summer against the Vexing Bauble deck is actually fairly decent, so I don't think I want to get rid of it. I don't love Galvanic Relay here, though, so we will side those out. Repeal and Explosives are good. So I don't necessarily want to remove those. I do think Aether Spellbomb isn't necessary. Same thing with the Noxious Revival. We'll shave one copy of Narset and one Song of Creation. Let's try this. I realize that leaving in a bunch of Veil of Summers versus the mono red deck seems odd, but it's just your best way of beating Vexing Bauble, and it beats multiple copies of Vexing Bauble. This hand isn't perfect, but I sort of want to keep it, which might be dumb. They've mulliganed to 6. I'm going to try it. I regret boarding out the Song of Creation and Narset right now because those are cards I'd like to hit, but I still think our hand is fine. Our opponent has turn 1 Vexing Bauble again. We draw another Lion's Eye Diamond. I'm going to bounce the Bauble. You can have a fish. So you might be wondering, why are we playing Into the Floodmaw and not Chain of Vapor? Well, we are a deck with 4 copies of Song of Creation, and it can get a little awkward if you have Chain of Vapor and Song of Creation in play, where if you need to bounce something like a Vexing Bauble, and then your opponent just bounces your Song of Creation. So in this deck, Into the Floodmaw makes a little bit more sense than Chain of Vapor. We'll imprint Veil of Summer, pass the turn. There's also the cute interaction that you can repeal the fish in order to draw a card. I don't know. It's something. They play City of Traders, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay. I would like 1 copy of Echo of Aeons, please. We'll take 1 Urza's Saga. I'm going to bounce this Goblin Shaman. We find a Mox Opal. So no payoff spells, and we are forced to pass the turn. They get rid of Fury and Simian Spirit Guide, so they kept the Vexing Bauble around. So something you might be wondering is why I didn't play out the Chrome Mox when I played out Urza's Saga, and we knew that our opponent had a Vexing Bauble. And I get that. So I didn't think our opponent would be leaving in Fury, to be fair. And 2, there's still Song of Creation in our deck. I wanted something to trigger Song of Creation. So that's why I left back an empty Chrome Mox than just playing it out for Urza Saga purposes. Brotherhood's End. Wow. That was insane. I believe we just lost. We'll play Tropical Island. Pass the turn. That was quite the Brotherhood's End. They have Ancient Tomb. 2 cards remaining in hand. They attack for 1. We'll go to 17. We will activate the Urza Saga. Repeal. Activate the Saga again. We'll go grab one of our 2 remaining copies of Lion's Eye Diamond. And attack for 3. They're at 11. They play Basic Mountain. 2 cards left in hand. We'll go to combat. So something we can do here is if they try to copy the fish with the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, we can bounce the fish in response. Oh, just like we drew it up. Boom! They have a Pyroblast. Okay. So they can chump block 1 and take 3. They're at 8. They have 1 card left in their hand. Back up to 2 after the draw step. Ancient Tomb, 1 card left. I wonder if they're thinking about cycling the Vexing Bauble here. I would like that. But let's see if they do it. It's a lot of mana. Shatterskull smashing for 5 to kill both constructs. Yikes. They're at 4. Okay. Into the Floodmaw. We'll have to pass here. It's quite the game. We're still not out of it either. Another Lion's Eye Diamond. Another Fable. Okay, we're running out of time. We're going to go to 8. Next turn they can attack for 5. So I have 1 more turn. Come on, pretty please. Nope. Pass. Did you draw lethal? Another Vexing Bauble. That hurts. That probably seals the deal now. So my only way of winning is if I draw Echo of Aeons into Veil of Summer plus the win. I go to 3. And the draw is a way too late Urza Saga. Okay, game 3 coming up. I wonder if I made a mistake boarding out the more expensive cards. I'm going to get rid of explosives. We never even saw Chalice of the Void, so I'm not sure or convinced that they're playing it. Let's try this. I mean, this is a hand. So, I think I'm going to keep this. It's a little sketchy. Alright, our opponent mulliganed to 6 again. We'll play first turn Urza Saga. Lion's Eye Diamond. And I'm not going to Land Grant, which might seem weird against the Vexing Bauble deck, but I have a Force of Will, so I don't necessarily need to play the Land Grant right now. They play a Mountain, Bauble. I will Force of Will, exiling the Into the Flood Maw. Saga will go to the second chapter. We draw Chrome Mox, so now I can actually make a Construct token here. Or I could just play Narset. We'll play Land Grant. Grab Tropical Island. I think I'm going to just play Narset. Minus the Narset. Come on, Echo of Aeons. No such luck. We'll take Repeal. Pass the turn. Ancient Tomb. I think I would have been more inclined for the Saga beatdown plan if our opponent didn't show me Brotherhood's End previously. 3 mana for a Broadside Bombardiers. So they can kill the Narset now. Well, actually, they can put the Narset to 1. Unless they play something to boast and throw. Oh, they're going at me. They did not attack Narset. That's interesting. Are you going to do like Fury, Boast, Throw? Is that the play here? And they do have the Fury, Boast, Throw play, so they'll kill my Narset and then throw the Fury at me for 7 damage. I'll go to 10, and they get to kill my Narset. Okay, that was quite the turn for them. Draw. And we find Taiga. I will make a Construct. The question is, what do I grab here? I don't need another Lion's Eye Diamond. Maybe Haywire Might? Yeah, let's do Haywire Might. Play the Taiga, pass the turn. They have land number 3, 2 cards in hand. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, okay. On the end step, I'm going to exile the Fable, and I'll gain 2 going up to 12. They have 1 card in hand. We draw Song of Creation, that's not the worst. Bounce the Goblin Shaman. We draw Chrome Mox. I think I'm going to hold the Chrome Mox, because I could use it next turn to help cast Song of Creation. They attack, I'll go back down to 10 life. Another Brotherhood's End, no! Yeah, that's devastating. That hurt. Force of Will, right on time. We will pass. They have 2 cards. I'll go to 8 here. Repeal. I needed a land. I think I have to pass. Okay, so they're going to channel their land here to create 2/1/1 creatures with haste. They can also throw those creatures to deal me extra damage. I'm going to repeal 1. A Lotus Petal, okay. So they can deal me 5. So I take 3, they can throw a token and deal me 2. So if I draw a land or a 0, I can try to win on my turn. And instead we drew another repeal. Okay, well I can bounce the Spirit token. And I believe that keeps me alive for another turn. They have Pyroblast. I have to Force of Will this, I don't have a choice. Repeal on the token. Okay, so I'm still in a spot next turn where if I draw a land, I can try to win. Assuming I live another turn. Because I'm at 4, they have 2 damage on board. Anything they can throw kills me. So I need their hand to be like 2 lands. I'm at 2. This kills me. And that'll do. So we lost the last match. Unfortunate. I mean, I had some draws there, but we never hit them. What do I think of the deck list? It was a lot of fun to play. There's times where it felt a little bit clunky, where like you draw multiple Songs of Creation or Narsets, but the deck was a lot of fun. I will say that. I do sort of feel like right now, and this is nothing about this specific deck, it's more a generality sort of thing, and I feel like Urza Saga in combo decks is the worst it's ever been. Like, the constructs don't feel like they're actually a good plan B anymore. Like, I feel like the format's moved past that. And on top of that, it forces your combo deck to play slower, your mana is a little bit worse. So I don't love Saga right now in general, but the deck is really cool. And if you're interested in doing fun and cool things, this is a sweet deck for that. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a terrific day, and as always, keep storming. What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.